Hi, it's Julie. I'm going to talk to you today about menopause and my experience of menopause and our attitudes to menopause. I've had several conversations this week with ladies who are just going into their menopause and the symptoms that they've been experiencing and the things that they are going through. And I was sat at my desk here just doing some studying and some writing on it, and I thought I'd share to you my experience of menopause and how we probably as a society these days need to change our mindset. Menopause is looked on as an illness. Hardly anybody talks about it. It's not an illness, it's a transition. Now, I had the biggest shock personally when I hit menopause. I was about 48 at the time, but I didn't expect to have menopause. I'll tell you why. When I was in my early 30s, I had to have a full hysterectomy. I'd been ill for quite a while, and actually it's what really got me onto this healing journey. So I never had hormone replacement therapy after my hysterectomy. I just got on with my life. I was actually feeling better from being ill for quite a while because of what I had. And I never remember ever being offered hormone replacement therapy, and I never remember being told about menopause and menopausal symptoms later on in life. In fact, I don't think I was told anything, and I wouldn't have even asked because I was happy to be well and I was in my early 30s. It doesn't really come into the equation. I'd had medications during my time that I wasn't so well, where I'd experienced hot flushes and some pretty horrible symptoms of menopause early on. So imagine my horror when I get to the age of about 48 and suddenly I'm having hot flushes and sweats and night sweats and my body's changing and I'm in not a happy place and I'm told I'm in menopause. I couldn't believe it because I was thinking, how can I possibly be in menopause when I had a full hysterectomy? That was years ago. I've moved on and now I'm here in this place and nobody mentioned it when I was in my 30s and I had my surgery, and I was horrified, or maybe just really, really shocked. Now, what also was happening to me at the same time was my husband was retiring from work and I was moving from the country where I loved to work most of the time, and I still tried to spend much of my time, to a country that I'd never really lived in, and I wasn't really that enamoured about my whole life change. So my whole life began to change. Everything was turned upside down. So when, first of all, I started off with the slight anxiety, the irritability, the depression, the bad moods, the hot sweats, the stress, I actually was thinking it's because of the trauma, because I did feel a little bit traumatized of giving my lifestyle and my life up and going to live in this other country, and my husband's retired and my life was completely turned upside down. But it wasn't that at all. So it was menopause. Now, in today's society, menopause is kind of like looked on, oh wow, we're in the last stages of our life now, we're old and we have nothing to offer. Well, let me tell you, we have to change our mindset. I changed my mindset quite quickly and I was very lucky how I got through it. But in the old ways, and even a little bit in some of our cultures today, and even in China, as we went into this energy, we went into that goddess energy, and we were known as a crone. Crone means crown in the goddess system. And it means that we were going to be wearing the crown of sovereignty, of wisdom, and becoming into a higher position in the tribal hierarchy, someone to be revered, someone to be respected, to look up to, and to go to when you needed help or guidance. These crones, as they were called, were the elders. They were full of wisdom. They became the healers, the shamans. They were full of knowledge, and they were revered and respected because of their knowledge, because of their wisdom, because of their life skills. And they were highly, highly respected because you were wearing the crown. You were the queen of wisdom and of sovereignty and all those things. So you were moving into a very powerful shift of energy and wisdom and acceptance. And it's wonderful. Now, even today in China, when you go into menopause, it's classed as your second spring, your second chance at life, and you are really respected. And in China, there is much less menopause distress than there is in the West because of our attitudes to it. It's a time, and even in the old days, it was a time that we should start to embrace our lives. And we need to do that today. We need to change our mindset. We have to start accepting the body changes. Now, I was looking at my body during my shock menopause, I'm thinking I'd already been through it and never have to go through it again. But of course, our bodies are much more than just that organ or any organ. There's a whole internal system. And spiritually, we also need to be connected and more so that we can find an inner peace. So I was looking at my body and it was changing, and the weight gain and the water retention and the fuzziness and the night sweats, and these are all things that people go through. And I had to learn to, rather than fight it, because we can't fight this, this is something we all are going to go through, accept it, don't resist it, change our mindset, and start to respect ourselves, and then start to embrace this change and realize that we are coming into a place of wisdom. Now, I can't say that I wouldn't like to still look like I did when I was 30, but I'm healthy and I'm well. Now, I never took hormone replacement therapy, which is offered to many, many women now, and it's wonderful for many people. They really, it really benefits them and helps them, and I know women who really would never have really got through their menopause without it because of the really heightened symptoms that they had. Personally, I was never offered it. And I always used to think anyway, even if I was, eventually I have to come off it anyway. So let's just embrace and see how I can get through it. And I did. I used my Reiki. My Reiki was wonderful because the Reiki helped me with my mindset, it helped me to find that peace, the principles that we live with. I used my crystal therapy. I went to a Chinese doctor. I had acupuncture and Chinese medicine the whole time. I used a natural progesterone cream that really helped me. And in the end, after this first initial shock and those first few months, I started to embrace it, because what's the point of resisting it? And I went through it. And I can't say it was always easy. It wasn't. There were days when I really felt terrible. You know, many of the symptoms we have are the hot flashes, the night sweats. So then you're tired, you're irritable, your body shape changes, you change, you have weight gain, you have water retention, you have fuzzy thinking. Many ladies start to get depressed. Anxiety sets in, heart palpitations, aches and pains, feeling emotional. your whole system starts to change, and you just wonder what's going on. And we still have to go through life, and we know some of us are still working full-time, some of us are still mothers full-time or grandmothers, whatever, and then stress doesn't help the situation. So you have to find ways that help you. And meditation is really good, sitting and finding peace and time for yourself. Now, I tried all sorts of things because I work in this wonderful holistic business of health and coaching and whatever, and so I would try lots of things, and I did the diets. People would say, Julie, go on this diet, it'll really help you. Drinking just green juices or just eating raw vegetables. It didn't help me. I tried, but it made me feel worse, because actually then I was saying no to myself, and when I was already not feeling that great, saying no to things and completely changing things was not helping me. So I found my own way, and that's what you have to do. You can listen, you can take advice and try things out, but do what's right for you. And talk to other older ladies who've been through it. Now, we didn't have anybody in our family for me to talk to, because all the older people, we have a very small family, and they'd all passed. But I had this, and I read, and I had friends, and eventually I got through it. And I would really recommend to you to embrace it. Embrace that you're going into a new lifestyle, a new part of your life, a new phase. You're going to be wise. You are wise. Don't fight it. Embrace the body changes. Okay, I would still like to look like I did when I was 30, but I'm in my 60s and I can't. End of. I can keep myself fit. I can keep myself well. And so I stopped battling and confusing myself. And of course, you can then also start to learn new things and meet new people and use your wisdom that you've learned to help others take on new projects and learn new things. Many women learn Reiki at this point in their lives because it really does help, and it was my saviour really, as well as the Chinese medicine. So some of your symptoms that you get are hot flushes and fuzzy thinking, anxiety, depression, mood swings. I went through many of the mood swings, and I did actually at the time think it was because I'd had to move, my life had changed, but it wasn't just that, it really was menopause. So there's lots of things you can do. You can try yoga, Pilates, meditation, reading, chanting, crystal therapy, Reiki and Reiki and Reiki, going outside in nature, spending more time with yourself, letting go of things that you no longer need or you know are stressing you, not putting yourself into stressful situations. Eat healthily. I've always eaten healthily. I don't eat junk food. I did try out some of the diets and things, but they didn't work for me, but I eat everything in moderation, and I just don't eat junk food. I don't take a lot of alcohol. I never have. So if you like alcohol, don't. People will say to you, well, you can't drink. You know, have a glass of wine if it does you good. Have a glass of red wine or a beer. Just do everything in moderation, but do the things that start to make you feel good, and don't keep denying yourself because you're already feeling a bit grotty and a bit off anyway. Now, some ladies fly through menopause without hardly any symptoms at all. And they're the lucky ones. Well, God bless them. And that's lovely for them too. And those of us who have suffered, and I got through it relatively easy, really, once I embraced it and decided to do it holistically. But if you want to take hormone replacement therapy, if you have bad depression, you suffer anxiety, ask for help. Go to your doctor and ask for help. That's fine too. We're not ill. Menopause is not an illness. It's a transition. And that's what we have to remember. It's a transition. We are transiting. And in this society where everything is about youth and beauty and agelessness, and we have to start respecting ourselves and re-educating the young and transition carefully. Change the mindset. You change your mindset, you'll be able to help to change the mindset of your friends and around you. Embrace yourself. Wear the crown of the crone, the crown of the goddess. Embrace being a woman, that divine energy, the feminine divine, whatever they call it. You are a woman. We were blessed with this body. We were here to help, to give birth, for procreation and all the things. And then we transition into our second spring, our second phase of life, when we're known as the wise ones. And it was such a lovely way how the old tribes and the old religions treated the women. So you treat yourself the same. Meet other women of the same opinion. Become your own goddesses. Embrace your own divine femininity and enjoy your menopause as best you can. Resistance is futile. And then for me, the people like me who really, I had a shock because I really didn't think I thought I wouldn't have to go through it. Well, that's the reminder that we are much more than that organ, and we're much more than this body. There is a connectedness to us, to our ancestors, to all that is, all that wisdom, all that transition. Enjoy, embrace being a woman, the divine feminine, and enjoy wearing your crown, being a sovereign. I hope that helps you. Please do message me if you want to ask me more questions, and watch out on the channel because I'm going to talk about how we can use crystals and Reiki and other things to help us through our menopause and those around us. Thank you for listening, and I really enjoyed talking to you and sharing my story, and I look forward to hearing yours too. If you do like this, please do like or subscribe to the channel. Listen out on my Instagram accounts, Julie's Conscious Connections Facebook pages for more information, and enjoy your life. And let's talk again soon. Thanks for listening.